Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. So today is my December bullet journal plan with me video, and it's weird to think that it is the last spread of the decade. If you think about it, it's the last month of the decade. It's crazy. I asked you guys on Twitter which theme you'd like to see, and old books, like a vintage old book theme won, which is pretty cool. So here we are. I'm doing my title page. I just drew out a cool little sash where I wrote December in it with some cursive. Basically the whole month is about like vintage books and like books that are looking a little bit worn out, and I even like did some tests beforehand and like practice my Celtic font writing, which is just a really nice font. You'll see soon what I mean with that, but it just fit the theme really nicely. And for the title page here, I just drew a stack of like old looking books at the bottom and just decorated them a little bit. Also, the month color is going to be gray. That's just what I associate with like old books, and I didn't really have like a very good pale brown that I could use, like a sepia tone, so I just went with gray. So I did add a little bit of a highlight of color on the title page, and by a highlight of color I mean these little tiny like bookmarkers. So that was it for the title page, and after that it was time for my monthly spread. So here I'm just writing out December in that Celtic font that I mentioned earlier. You can have a look on my Pinterest where I've saved some of the reference fonts that I used for this. I just did a bunch of like testers before I did this spread just to kind of get myself used to it. And underneath that, I drew out two pages that have a bit of a frayed edge. So the top one is going to be my monthly goals, and the bottom one is my YouTube planner. And then I drew out the calendar for the month, again in this kind of like rough edged paper. And then of course I separated it into little boxes for the month, and then just wrote out the days of the week at the top in, again, that really cool Celtic font. By the way, I am using my Tombow Fudenosuke pen for pretty much everything in this month's spread. I've been really obsessed with using this for pretty much everything because it's just a really nice pen, isn't it? And the white jelly roll pens work really nicely on top of this pen, so then I wrote in monthly goals over there at the top, and my little YouTube tracker and planner icon, and then I added some cool little laurels and like those corner page decorations that you see a lot in old books at the bottom of the page. And then I since I've had a bunch of like free space at the bottom there, I decided to add in a little quote which says, "Old ways won't open new doors," which I thought was just a really nice quote that fit the theme. So with all that done, I went in with my grey Crayola Supertip and added some little drop shadows behind all these pages that I drew out on the monthly spread, and also colored in a little bit of the little sash at the top, and it was looking a little bit more finished now with a drop shadow, of course. And yeah, after that I just added in a little dot at the top left corner of every box on the monthly calendar just to add the days of the month on said little circles. And as I said, the Jelly Roll pen works really nicely on top of the Tombow Fudenosuke pen, so I just used that pen to do all the little circles. And then I had some free space over there at the top, so I decided to add in some little like feather fountain pens from like the old times, which I thought looked kind of cool and fit the theme again. So I was just having a bit of fun and adding little doodles here and there that I thought fit the theme nicely. And then after that, it was now time for my habits and expenses tracker. So over there at the top, I just drew out another like sash, or sort of like a scroll unfolding itself, and wrote out habits, and then underneath tracker. And then what I did for my habits tracker this month, I drew out a bunch of little paper pieces like this with frayed edges. But if you don't really have patience to do this 9 times, what you can do is use a little printer. And I'll show you guys in a bit how I use the Phomemo pocket printer for this. So I just wrote out water, 8 hours sleep, read, Insta, you know, all of my habits that I want to track. And what you would want to do instead of writing out the days of the month like 9 times is use a little pocket printer. So Phomemo sent me this little pocket printer in this beautiful color, which is my favorite color, in a nice teal. And the way you use it is there's an app on your phone that you can use. It has so many different options. It has like templates of its own that you can use, or you can make your own templates, or scan in something that you want to print out a bunch of times, or use a picture on your phone. So what I did is I wrote out the tracker month thing once and took a picture of it in the scan mode, and it, as you can see, scans it immediately and turns all the background white. So I just cleaned it up a little bit in terms of the dots that were still visible, and I sent it off to print another 8 times, and there you go. And it prints it off onto sticker paper in black and white. And there you go. That's your little sticker that you just made. And I might have gone a little bit crazy with this one, and I'll show you guys what I've been printing with it recently. But yeah, I just did this another 8 times, and it was a really fast and easy way to just print out the monthly calendar for all of your habits. It's really fun and a really fast way to get your bullet journaling done if you're in a rush and just don't have the patience to like do repetitive things over and over again, and it still makes your bullet journal look really nice. And then actually everything just looks really tied together because everything looks the same and equal, and I just think it looks really cool for a habits tracker especially. I then went ahead and obviously printed out some pictures of my dog because she's beautiful. And then I decided to print this beautiful picture of Jeff Goldblum. It's a little meme that I love. And you know what? I just had to, you guys, I just had to, because he's the best and I love him very, very much. So I printed out a bunch of these pictures. I've been using this a lot to print out like memes that are like representing my mood for my weekly spreads. I'll just find a meme that I really like and I'll just print it out and put it on my weekly spread that week, and that's it. And then I decided to use this blank page that I had next to my title page to put in a little like end of year checklist, because I have a lot of things to get done before the year ends, and I decided to use this blank page for it, with these beautiful pictures to inspire me at the bottom of Jeff Goldblum and my dog. So I just wrote out my end of year checklist for 2019, and yeah, this is where I'm going to be making my big chunky list of things I have to get done before the next decade comes in. So yeah, thank you so much, Phomemo, for sending me over this little printer. This video is not sponsored by Phomemo, but this is a gifted item. So yeah, I just honestly have so much fun with this. Way too much fun with me just printing memes out on this printer. So anyway, I went back to my habits tracker and I drew out these little like corner decorations again, just to fill in those gaps. And I think it ended up looking really royal and like very, very nice. So it was then time for my expenses tracker. And for that, I, as you could expect, just drew out a page, like a frayed edge page that is going to be my tracker, and wrote out expenses in the Celtic font, and then just drew out my little chart, which is where I'm going to be writing in the money that's coming in and the money that's coming out. And you guys know the gist for this already. Of course, I then went in with my Crayola Supertip and added some grays here and there. And with those done, it was time for my brain dump spread. And this is just where I normally write all my lists and my packing lists and all of the little notes that I have to make in life that I never really find a spot for them. And for this page, I just basically did it as if it's like a scroll, like the whole page is an unfolded scroll, and wrote brain dump just at the bottom, and then just added some shading with my gray Supertip Crayola pen, and that was pretty much it. I kept it really simple. As you know, I keep this one simple so I have as much space as possible. So yeah, after that, it was time for my weekly spread. And for this one, I just drew out a bunch of little strips of paper, of course, some frayed edge paper, and one for each day. And then I wrote in the day of the week and the day of the month in with my Celtic font yet again over there on the side. And I put a little divider, as you can see, and this is basically on the left, I'm going to write like any event that's happening that day to separate it from my tasks that I will write on the right hand side of this little strip of paper. And I really enjoyed how this ended up looking. It just looks like little memo notes that you would have. And then, of course, at the bottom there on the right, I did a little section which is my notes, or just weekly goals that I want to achieve that week. And of course, added some little corner decorations just to make it look a little bit more fancy. And with that done, it was of course time for some drop shadows, because no spread is finished without some drop shadows, of course. Yeah, that was it for my December bullet journal plan with me. Just giving you guys a bit of a run through, flip through of this month. I really hope you enjoyed this theme and watching me do this. The next video in my bullet journaling themed videos is going to be my 2020 bullet journal setup, which I'm super excited about. I honestly can't wait. And then I'm still deciding whether or not I'm going to do bullet journaling videos next year, so let me know down there if you would like me to keep doing these. I have been doing them for like 2.5 years or 3 years, I don't even remember now, but yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a delicious December, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.